your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good Tuesday afternoon. I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. It was the busiest month in the Northampton Fire Department's history. Firefighters responding to 805 incidents in October. That's the first time the department responded to more than 800 calls. A full report of all the incidents is coming from the department. Midterm elections are just a week away, with control of Congress up for grabs. Voters say the economy and inflation are two of the biggest issues in their vote for Congress, followed by gun violence, abortion, and climate. Voters will also help shape the future of American democracy next week when they cast their first statewide ballot since 2020. The election comes amid a number of threats against election workers and even politicians and their families on both sides of the political aisle. Officials say 4 Michigan State football players roughed up 2 members of the rival team that won moments before. University of Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh says defensive back Jamon Green was punched by a Spartan. Harbaugh said Jaden McBurrows also attacked when he tried to help. McBurrows was pushed, punched, and kicked by multiple Michigan State players.
Temperatures not cooling off a ton tonight. We will keep some patchy, dense fog that will actually redevelop overnight, and we'll get some partial clearing out there. Lows will still drop into the mid-40s, which is seasonably mild for this time of year. Breezes will be light to calm. Going into tomorrow, after fog burns off in the morning, we'll have plenty of sunshine throughout the day, so expect temperatures to warm up fast. With sunshine expected throughout the day, highs should reach middle to upper 60s. We'll also have a light breeze out of the north and lower humidity, so it's going to feel a bit drier and more comfortable. There is a cold front that'll be dropping to the south Wednesday afternoon. Not expecting anything with it except slightly lower dew points going into Thursday. High pressure builds in overhead too, so Thursday and Friday are looking pretty nice. We'll have chillier mornings dropping back down into the 30s, and then Thursday afternoon we cool back to the mid 60s. Friday and Saturday unseasonably warm, shy of records, but still upper 60s to lower 70s, and that stretch of warmth continues into early next week.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.